Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where we talk about skincare, grooming and sometimes hair, so that sounds like a thing. Make sure you are subscribed. Also, come and follow me on Instagram where I post a lot of stuff you're not going to see here on YouTube. Well, I have some explaining to do. So a few months ago maybe, I can't remember, I posted a video called Why I No Longer Use the Ordinary. Because I don't, and a lot of people had a lot of opinions about that video. It somehow got on the trending page and like a lot of people were like, this is clickbait, even though the video was exactly about why I no longer use the Ordinary. People were saying that I was sponsored by other bigger brands to like hate on the Ordinary. I know that's a thing that happens, but I wasn't. But the very simple reason that I don't use the Ordinary and that I thought I made clear in the initial video was that I've just moved on. I have found other products from other brands that in my opinion have nicer formulations, more elegant, that my skin prefers more importantly. And I'm just not so much into that single ingredient thing anymore, you know? I'm more into like overall well-rounded products. But that's not to say that the Ordinary is bad. Again, it's just my personal opinion and skincare experience. Single ingredient skincare lines seem to be a bit of a trend, but luckily for the Ordinary, they started the trend. They are the original, so they're not going to go anywhere, and their popularity, rightfully so, is going to be around for a long time. As I mentioned, this isn't to say I don't like the Ordinary. I actually really like the Ordinary for so many reasons. I feel like they completely changed the skincare world, some for the better, some for the worst. They changed the way we all think about skincare. Again, some for the better, some for the worst. When I say for the worst, I feel like what the Ordinary has done is made us all feel like we need to try every single ingredient out there. It's kind of produced a lot of confusion and it can be a little bit overwhelming for a lot of people. However, again, what they have done is introduced us to so many amazing ingredients that I feel like a lot of us wouldn't have heard of before unless they had started making skincare the way they do. And for a lot of people, including myself, their products have completely transformed our skin. So how do I really feel about the Ordinary? I think they're an amazing brand with amazing products and they completely changed the face of skincare forever. Of course, at such an accessible price as well. They got us all interested in paying more attention to what is in our skincare. So whilst this isn't a brand I use anymore, a lot of you have been asking for some of my favorites from the Ordinary and I'm going to share that with you today. Again, balance out the negative I have them with a positive video. So these are some of the products that whilst I no longer use, I absolutely loved when I was using them. They're very, very good, worth the price. Let's start off with the first product. This is the Squalane cleanser. When I first used this cleanser, I used it completely wrong. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, oh, it's crap. And I like gave it away, but it just turns out I was using it wrong. This is a super gentle, non-stripping, oddly moisturizing cleanser. Well, it's not oddly moisturizing because it's Squalane. Squalane is a skin identical ingredient that's found naturally in our sebum, and it's oily without being greasy, but leaves our skin nicely moisturized. This is a perfect morning type cleanser because you can use it twice a day without feeling like your skin is being stripped. And that's why a lot of people skip that morning cleanse, especially if they have drier skin, because they don't want to keep cleansing and cleansing everything that their skin has away. This won't do that. In fact, this will make you feel more moisturized. It also makes a perfect double cleanse. So a lot of people ask with a double cleanser, can they use the same cleanser twice? Yes, double cleansing is literally just using your cleanser twice. But I do prefer like the oil-based cleansers as a first cleanse, and this has that nice kind of oily finish. So when you massage it into your hands, it kind of turns into oil that breaks down all your sunscreen and makeup. You can emulsify that and it turns into that milky kind of foam that we expect from a first cleanse. Rinse it away, use it again. I actually got the larger size of this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the expiry date on the larger size tube of this is 6 months. Do not get the larger size tube because you'll never use it up in 6 months. You need the tiniest amount and then the rest of it you just end up chucking away because you just don't use it up. The next product I have to talk about is Retinol in Squalane. All of them, 0.2, 0.5 and 1%. These were my gateway into retinol products and I highly, highly recommend starting with these if you're new to using retinol. If you're like me and you were new to it and like you were kind of scared because all you heard was that retinol was going to make you dry, it's going to make your skin flake off, it's going to leave you sensitive, and you were confused about what to use and how, these products are perfect because I got none of that. I got none of the irritation, none of the flakiness, redness, none of the dryness. And that's because the Squalane kind of acts as a buffer, pretty much preventing any of that from happening. It is easy, however, when using these to be fooled into thinking your skin can quickly move up to a higher percentage because you don't feel anything, because you're not feeling those potential repercussions. You think, oh, my skin's fine, and then you move up a level, but don't. I literally used each one for about a month and then moved on. I have to be honest and say this isn't the nicest feeling product on your skin if you do have oily skin. I love using Squalane oil in the evening because, as I mentioned, it hasn't got that greasy feel to it. For some reason, these retinols in Squalane do. Still less greasy than like an oil, but still it's a little bit like, oh. But once a week in the evening is not the biggest issue when you're like retinol training your skin, you know? I started with 0.5 by accident, but I do highly recommend you start with the 0.2 and work your way up. I'm now on 1% retinol still, and I still use a buffer. But yes, these are great, really affordable introductory retinols. Oh, let's talk about the alpha arbutin 2% plus hyaluronic acid. This is one of those products that I unfortunately forgot about. When reviewing skincare is your job, you kind of like review a product, you're like, yes, that worked for me or that didn't work for me, and then you move on. And you forget about like the little gems like this serum. Arbutin has a ton of studies behind it, proving its effectiveness at not just evening out skin tone and brightening dark spots, but generally just making your skin look amazing. It goes from like being dull and kind of lifeless to like bright and lifeful. So Arbutin works by putting a stop to tyrosinase activity. That basically puts a stop to melanin production. So essentially this stopped my dark spots getting darker from UV exposure, which is for me a big thing, is why I wear like the highest factor sunscreens. And this really did help with some awful dark spots left over from like blind pimples, you know, the ones that bury deep in your skin and kind of come to a surface like a big red boil. I actually use this serum pre-zit sticker. Nowadays, if I have a spot like that, I put a zit sticker on it, a couple, and it's gone. But pre-zit sticker, they would always leave a scar, and this was a massive help. I would use it alongside AHA and always wear sunscreen with this, and it really did work. I think I'm going to buy this again, thinking about it now, just to have as a backup. Azelaic acid suspension 10%. I hate this product, but I think when you review skincare, you've got to know when a product could really work for someone else and look past your own personal preferences. This is another product I got to target dark spots. What I didn't expect from this was it to kind of soothe the redness on my face, the rosacea, bring down that inflammation. And it also worked as a really good direct spot treatment for surface level spots. So yes, it really did help target the inflammation on my very mild rosacea, but I could see a difference after about a month of using this. However, I say a month of using this, a month of using azelaic acid. This formulation, however, for me, just feels horrible on the skin. It's like a very old-fashioned matte primer. It's got that fake glossiness to it, like the silky feeling to it, but instantly mattifies your skin. And I'm not a fan of matte skin on myself. I don't like it. I don't like feeling like my skin is matte. I don't like looking like my skin hasn't got a glow to it. And this just didn't play well with other products at all. I couldn't layer it with any other serums. Moisturizer kind of struggled to penetrate the skin after this as well. It's almost like it created this layer and everything just kind of peeled over it and slid around it. And sometimes it would just ball off my face, even if it was the only product I was using after cleansing. It was a horrible experience, but this worked so well. This worked so well. Azelaic, it was like my introductory to azelaic acid that I actually spent a bit more money on Paula's Choice azelaic acid, a little bit pricier, but I knew azelaic acid was working well for my skin. But if you don't mind matte skin, this is such a good product for that redness, dark spots and breakouts. I'm going to finish on niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1% because we all know this. We all know what it's good for. I feel like this is one of the serums that everyone who's into skincare or has a even basic skincare routine owns. Along with zinc, this really helped control my greasy skin and BHAs actually, but this kind of was a complete game changer for my oily, overly sebum-y face, as well as tending to any minor breakouts. The niacinamide really just changed the complexion of my skin for the better. My skin just looked a lot brighter. This was the stage when like glass skin was all the rage, a little bit before actually. Everyone wanted glass skin and I just couldn't achieve it because even if my skin looked glowy, it just looked dull underneath. Niacinamide helped brighten my skin massively, and because of this serum, I wanted to discover every other niacinamide product, every other niacinamide serum, and I feel like every brand has launched their own niacinamide serum, whether it's niacinamide and zinc. they've launched their own serum because of the huge popularity of this product. Niacinamide can help with a damaged skin barrier. It helps keep our skin barrier healthy. I would like to see a 5% niacinamide, however, rather than 10, because I know a lot of people complain that this can sting a little bit, whereas 5% is more than enough to do a good job and get the benefits from niacinamide. This serum is also a little bit sticky. You've got to use the exact amount. Like, I would do like 3 drops and then pat it into my skin. Any more, then it would just be sticky and my products wouldn't work well with it. But I love this. A hyaluronic acid serum is also a very, very good basic hyaluronic acid serum. So yes, there we have it. I feel like I just owed The Ordinary a bit more attention, a positive attention. Let me know your favorites down below. I think The Ordinary, again, is a brand that's so accessible to everyone, inspired so many other brands to launch the kind of skincare that they have now. I've personally moved on as far as formulations go and products and single ingredient products, but doesn't mean they're not good products. They are really, really good. Let me know your favorites in the comments down below. Let's discuss. But that's it from me now. I will see you next time.